Max Rufus Mosley was a British racing driver, lawyer, and president of the FIA. It's commonly understood that he, along with Bernie Ecclestone, shaped modern Formula One into the global behemoth it is today. But this video isn't really about Formula One, nor Bernie Ecclestone, and nor is it really about Max Mosley, barring some speculation about his political outlook while he was in power for the FIA. So, the most influential people in any person's life are their parents, for good or for ill. So in this video I'd like to highlight some facts regarding Sir Oswald Mosley and Diana Mitford, the parents of Max Rufus Mosley, along with some fascinating facts that surround these people. Some folks I guess might know them from Peaky Blinders. I don't watch Peaky Blinders, but let me share with you what has been documented as history around these two people. Sir Oswald Ernald Mosley, born 16th November 1896, died 3rd December 1980. He was a British politician who rose to fame in the 1920s as a Member of Parliament, and later, having become disillusioned with modern politics of the time, drifted towards fascism and became the leader of the British Union of Fascists. He served in the First World War, first as a cavalryman, then a pilot in the Royal Flying Corps, where he would suffer a crash during a flight demonstration. And then he served in the trenches at the Battle of Lewis, where he would pass out on duty from pain due to injuries sustained from the previous flight demonstration crash. He would be branded brave and reckless, and would have a permanent limp due to his injuries from the crash. He had passed out at his post at the Battle of Lewis because he hadn't waited for his injuries to heal. His remaining service was fulfilled via desk jobs in the Ministry of Munitions and in the Foreign Office. His first marriage from 1920 to 1933 was to Lady Cynthia Kimmy Curzon. During this marriage, Mosley had an extended affair with his wife's younger sister, Lady Alexandra Metcalfe, and a separate affair with their stepmother, Grace Curzon, Marchioness Curzon of Kettleston. In 1933, Cynthia would die of peritonitis, after which Mosley married Diana Mitford. Oswald and Diana married in secret in Germany on 6th October 1936 in the Berlin home of Germany's Minister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, Josef Goebbels. Adolf Hitler was their guest of honor. We will get to how Adolf comes into the picture as we get to Diana Mitford, but do note he was their guest of honor at their secret wedding, and more so, Hitler kept their marriage license under lock and key to safeguard it. It was never recovered after the war, so the couple had to remarry to legally be recognized at a later date. They would do so in France sometime after 1950. Oswald, however, started more affairs after finding out their marriage wasn't legally recognized until their second marriage. After World War II, Mosley attempted to enter the political sphere again. Take note that this was after he had been imprisoned in 1940 for trying to convince the British public at the time to accept Hitler's peace offer. Like Hitler, he was very charismatic, and MI5 was generally worried he would convince the British people to his politics. Oswald Mosley was one of the first Holocaust deniers. He called the Nuremberg trials a, I quote, zoo and a peep show, and he formed the Union movement, which called for a single nation state to cover the continent of Europe. Look up Europe, a nation, if you want more information on that. And do note that everything that has been said so far in this video is verifiable. You can Google it, Bing it, Yahoo it. If you look for it, it won't be hard to find. After the 1958 race riots of Notting Hill, Mosley briefly returned to Britain to stand in the general election of 1959. He led his campaign on an anti-immigration policy calling for forced repatriation of Caribbean immigrants, as well as a prohibition on mixed marriages. His campaign failed with a final share of 8.1% of the votes. He contested again for the 1966 general election, this time getting fewer votes. He died in 1980 and was survived by 3 children. Diana Mitford, Oswald Mosley's wife, born 17 June 1910, died 11th August 2003. She was the 4th child and 3rd daughter of David Freeman Mitford. Her first marriage was to Brian Walter Guinness. They were both part of the Bright Young Things social group of Bohemian young aristocrats and socialites. She divorced Guinness because she was chasing a marriage with Oswald Mosley, and as we know, they married in the home of Josef Goebbels in 1936. Diana became involved with the Third Reich in 1934. She visited Germany with her younger sister, Unity. While there, they attended the first Nuremberg rally after the Nazi rise to power. Diana's sister Unity was a friend of Hitler's and introduced her sister to him in March 1935. They returned for the second rally later that year and were entertained as Hitler's guests. In 1936, he provided a Mercedes-Benz to chauffeur Diana to the Berlin Olympic Games. She became well acquainted with Winifred Wagner, widow of Siegfried Wagner, and Magda Goebbels, wife of Josef Goebbels. Hitler was known to be an enthusiast of Wagner's music. Diana's marriage to Oswald in 1936 would be kept secret until 1938 when their first child was born. Hitler told Diana over a lunch in August of 1939 that war was inevitable. The Mosleys were interned during much of World War II under Defense Regulation 18B, along with other British fascists of the time. MI5 documents released in 2002 described Lady Mosley and her political leanings, and I quote verbatim, "Diana Mosley, wife of Sir Oswald Mosley, is reported on the best authority, that of her family and intimate circle, to be a public danger at the present time. Is said to be far cleverer and more dangerous than her husband, and will stick at nothing to achieve her ambitions. She is wildly ambitious." On 29 June 1940, after the birth of her fourth son Max Mosley on the 13th of April 1940, she was arrested, hastily stuffing a silver-framed picture of Hitler, gifted by Hitler himself, under Max's cot mattress when the police came to arrest her. The couple of Oswald Mosley and Diana Mosley were initially held separately until Churchill intervened in December of 1941. After the war, and the couple's release from internment, along with being banned from holding passports until 1949, Diana demonstrated that she was quite unfazed from her prison time. She would be seen later in life being unwilling to disavow Hitler, denying details of the Holocaust, and sticking by her lifelong support of the British Union of Fascists and its post-war successor, the Union Movement. An interesting fact some might not know is that Nazi scientists were captured by Britain in an operation similar to Operation Paperclip that occurred in the USA. The British equivalent of that operation was dubbed Operation Surgeon, as in a doctor who performed surgery. Britain insists this was done to keep Nazi scientists out of Soviet hands. By now the real reason doesn't matter. The Soviets themselves had an equivalent operation of their own. Do note that when Oswald Mosley was running for office, his son Max Mosley was his election agent for his party, the Union Movement. By 1964, Max Mosley retired from politics and began work as a barrister before getting into Formula One as a legal aid to March. So riddle me this, Batman. Max Mosley, head of the FIA for 15 years, gets fired for being caught on camera with 5 women of the night, dressed in SS gear, SS uniform, and having an orgy. Now it's quite evident he got the SS fetish from somewhere, and his parents are quite friendly with Nazis. I ain't no genius, but just putting 1 and 2 together, it's not that far reach. Now Max Mosley was in power for 15 years, which means he dictated politics of the FIA for 15 years. So whoever was doing their apprenticeship under him, they no doubt have some of his politics. And of course, whoever they had apprentice under them in the future, no doubt they got a bit of this politics too. Now you see, I'm just here to make you think. Don't let this ruin your enjoyment of F1. But sometimes, information can be a truly bizarre and wonderful thing. Anyway, enjoy your day, folks. I do need to add, just for posterity, he did win the defamation court case, I believe it was, might not be correct on that, but he did win his court case against the tabloid that published this Nazi orgy story. only on account of there were no Nazi symbols on the uniforms that the women of the night were wearing. Far as I see it, he got caught once. That don't mean he undid it once, and that don't mean he wasn't being smarter about it before. Anyway. Adieu, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have watched this far, thank you, and have a good day.
Hell breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there, homie. Hey, let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop. Cause you know I gotta win every day. Go! She really wanna pop me. Go! Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. Go! You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna dead it. Then I'm gonna murder everything and anything about it. Boom, about a bing. I gotta do a lot of things to make it clearer to a couple niggas that I always win and then I gotta get it again and again and again. And I be doing it to death and now I move a little foul. Nigga better call a ref and everybody know my style. Niggas know that I'm the best when it comes to doing this and I be banging on my chest and I'm banging in the east and I'm banging in the west and I can't give you more and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street and you can read it in the press. Do you really wanna know what's next? Let's go. See the way we on it and we all up in the race and you know we gotta go now try to keep up with the pace and we struggling and hustling and set it and get it.